Here we go. Hello.
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 I want to give you a big kiss.
You want to give me a big kiss? Oh, I'd love a big kiss. Give me big kisses then. Mwah. Thank you. Love you.
Love you.
You're my best friend.
You're my best friend.
That's too cute.
Okay. that was good.
My cat to say that to me.
Your cat is never going to have best friend ever come out of its mouth. It's just, I don't think it's in its vocabulary.
Fuck you,
Yeah,
is what's to come out of his mouth.
We hear the way you talk to him.
He's a little shit.
Okay,
He's such a twat.
so right, let's get this under the way. Summer,
Hello.
give me a brief overview of what is derived from the first time that you guys, what has come to this point? How have you got here?
Well, we were travelling with Obi and the one that I can't remember the name of.
Fargrim.
That one. And we decided, instead of fighting these evil bandit peoples, we're just gonna kill the people we were hired to protect and take things from them. Except that we didn't actually take the stuff that we were going to take, and now we've lost it. The guards are cunts, and we royally fucked up.
I would say the long and short of it is pretty much that last session wasn't a fuck up like as an actual session, but in game, yeah, you guys were fucked up. So you in the end you kind of managed to bypass Western's Gate. Fortunately, it was a different guard shift upon your returning, so there was no kind of stopping or interrogation or anything that took place, and you managed to maneuver through to the residential ward of Western, and you came upon one of the taverns known as the what was it called? I think it was called the something Kiss. Hold on, I will find my notes.
Sun-Kissed Tavern.
Sun-Kissed Tavern, yeah, that's the one.
I was wondering, is that the cheaper of the two taverns? Because you said there's another one, the Wayward Pony.
There's a bunch of them, but in terms of the residential zone, the ward that you managed to get to, it is one of the cheap. Well, it's not cheap in terms of it's actually good value for money. It's just the rooms are really small.
Okay, because I think have we already paid?
Yeah,
Yes.
I paid.
Okay, don't mind then. I was gonna say we go to the shittiest, seediest bar we possibly can and just hide for the rest of our lives.
Kind of all squeezed into a singular room. There was a single bed each side of the room with like a galleyway in the middle. So like four of you managed to kind of squeeze onto two of these beds, and then two of you kind of had to. Ankegger kind of had to squeeze in the middle of the floor. So yeah, you got to that point. It would be at this point though that I would ask Gotplana to join me in the Whisper channel, please.
Do that one. There we go. Hello.
Hello. So, Gotplana, as you rest, the light that peeks from the waning crescent moon shines through your window, and it flickers across your eyes, sending you into a deep sleep. You find yourself in a white open space. Ahead of you, you see a dark crimson river. You move closer. You look down into the blood-red river, but the reflection is not yours. Instead, you see a huge larvae with swirling teeth within its maw. Tulip will leave Riri signal sa I div Ryu Laos. Could you do a wisdom save for me, please?
Get that written down at all.
Yeah, I'll send it in the chat.
Cheers. Hey, when doesn't say. Oh.
Okay. You take 3 points of necrotic damage. If you'd like to join back the main channel group and send Summer to the Whisper channel, please.
Thing stopped. Oh, it was a stupid man.
Sorry, did you? Okay, Summer. As you rest, you find yourself in a white space. You begin to hear the slithering as a huge shadow of a worm shrouds all around you. Summer. Could you make a wisdom check for me? Sorry, wisdom save, sorry.
Wisdom save. Let me just. Oh no! Get off my fucking screen. Wisdom save. Oh no!
Okay. Oh, I don't want that. I want this. Is it 3d4, 3d6? 3d4. You take 6 points of necrotic damage.
Oh. Okay.
Okay. You turn as this surge of necrotic energy penetrates your being in your dream state. You turn and you see a wooden door at the end of a very tall, narrow, cliff-like bridge. You cannot see the ground below, and the voice speaks again. Summer, open. Be calm. Together. Power. What do you do?
Oh, I'm gonna open the door. Oh, am I making the wrong decision?
Is that what you're doing? You're opening the door? That's fine.
Yeah.
Okay. You open the door. If you would like to return to the regular chat.
Okay.
Run away.
Might be the idea.
Run away.
Okay.
Back.
You both wake, Summer and Gaplana, you both wake soaked in your own sweat. The room is like a sweat box. It's stuffy, hot, the moisture is dripping from the walls, and it's now daytime.
I want to die. Let's go.
Summer is kind of just in some kind of state of complete shock.
By the
Which way
way,
was
Summer,
she
you
not
actually
gonna
heal the necrotic damage that you took during
Brilliant.
your dream.
She's still completely in a state of shock to the point where she's just laying there, eyes open. She doesn't want to move.
I think Jirak is. I assume there's a there's like a tavern part of this
Yeah, of
place
course.
we're staying.
There's
There's like food and drink downstairs.
yeah.
And I think
Morning actually gives the opportunity. You start to hear that there are clambering about downstairs, and it is you kind of, if you are deciding to go down the stairs anywhere that wishes to, you will witness that there is a breakfast buffet that has been included in the room's costs anyway that you was told about to begin with. And you see all sorts of like dried foods that are typical of a breakfast meal. There are things like blueberries and raspberries, and there's like dried breads and so on and so forth. There are half a dozen or so like giant-sized pretzels. And yeah, it's pretty much like a breakfast buffet that's going on.
I think when everyone else wakes up, Jirak's already been downstairs for a while. He's got like a plate of like sausages or something, and he's just sat there like picking at them, not really eating them, looking not too great. So I assume, and he like didn't sleep well, so waked up too early.
Yeah.
And I think I might leave Kegger in the room because that just makes it easier to figure out that we're the ones who did the crime.
Kegger helped. Kegger was complicit.
Kegger was just following orders, which is a terrible excuse.
That's what the Nazis said.
I know. I know.
Oh shit. Okay. You guys have this time to collect yourselves and do what you need to do for breakfast.
Summer probably won't leave the bed, and she's probably just gonna curl up with her cat, maybe cry a little bit. Who knows? She's feeling like sad, regret, and yeah.
I'm just gonna go downstairs and get a pretzel and then sit at the table and eat happily.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
Lana, we really fucked up.
I noticed. We've been relying on each other for a while. We've been living for a while. We've held our own against merchants. We've killed people before.
Yeah, but not like that. They've never been defenseless. We've never allied ourselves with bandits. We're not evil, right?
We just took the easiest route at the time. My idea, anyway. It was that there was so many of them, and they turned out to be whatever they are. Best people. At the time, they were people that we should have gone with instead of fighting and dying in front of them. That fight. I'm sorry, I don't think we would.
I at least would have liked to try to fight a bit more. Can't help but feel we not jumped to conclusions, but took the easy way out before it even started getting difficult. And it doesn't sit well with me that the easy way out has left two men with families and friends and a business and people relying on them dead in the street, and now a massive criminal organization has benefited from their death.
Could have benefited from our death regardless.
No, could have left them looking a bit worse off if they had taken us.
Them after us. At this point, they're not going to be after us of who we are, but thing and run if we need to. We'll never do that fraction again. We could do it. We could just up and go. We've done it before.
Yeah.
I these things, and at the time, those bandits. That was the only way out I could see. See more next time, but fucked it.
Yeah. We fucked it. I just can't help but remember these dreams I've been having. I told you all about them. In those dreams, there is a period of time where we do all nearly die, and it's because we wanted to fight for what was right. We died. We nearly all died. Some of us did actually die because we knew not to bow down to the tyrant, essentially. And
Dying better than living. Dying. Yes, there's dying for what's right, but you're still dying.
depends on the cause.
Summer's gonna finally get out of bed before she comes down into the drinking, eating bit. She's gonna cast disguise self on herself so
Okay.
that she doesn't look like a tiefling anymore.
What do you want to look like?
She wants to look just like a normal human with long black hair.
Hmm.
She's going to keep her monastery cloak on.
Okay.
She's going to come downstairs,
Oh, sure.
just grab some food and sit in silence.
What are you eating?
Don't know, bro. Something bland.
Okay.
One of the pretzels, then.
No.
Summer, I've been meaning to ask. We were like, God, I keep doing this. I see you in my dreams, right? But it's not you. It's everyone here, but everything's slightly different. We're in the same place, but we meet different people, and some people are here, some people aren't, and it's all a bit fucky. You mentioned that you had dreams, correct?
Yes, that's how I recognized you before we met.
What did they consist of, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, the last one I remember having, we were actually fighting a dragon in some kind of, I don't know, a cave, I suppose. I remember Kaga died. I had a brother who had also died. And, well, yeah, that's all I really remember.
Something's going on, man. The stories I was told growing up, no one has a dream about a person, sees people dying and meets people in a certain place, and then that actually happens in real life for the most part. That's never just a coincidence. There's always an omen or a sign or something's happened.
I don't think right now is the time to figure that out. If you don't mind, don't wait up for me. There's something that I need to do alone, actually.
By all means.
And Summer's gonna head out and find a monastery.
Okay. Clarence?
Clarence has left. Like, I'm not even sure if anyone's noticed, but Clarence was up this morning and has gone.
Okay. Did Clarence eat anything before he left?
Was the buffet available when he left?
I would imagine so.
Then yeah, he would have probably grabbed some food. No, he wouldn't. No, he wouldn't have. No, he would have left prior to eating.
Fair enough. Okay. So, Summer, you leave.
Yo.
You leave the Sunkissed Tavern.
I also have my cat with me.
Okay, good to know.
He's on my shoulder. He's being a parrot today.
You leave to investigate the city of Westron in hopes of some sort of monastery. The streets are full of people, and they're beginning their day, going about their business. People tend to potted flowers outside their homes. They make their way to work or just walking about generally. Could you do a perception check for me, please?
There I go.
As you're walking through, you see that there are many of these common folk seem to be very sort of drawn, like dark circles under their eyes, yawning. Some of them are still rubbing their eyes. They look extremely tired. And eventually you come to an intersection and you're greeted with a tall signpost that says Scholars Ward to the right, Temple Ward to the left, Opal Ward straight ahead, and Market Ward beyond. Where would you like to head?
I'm guessing a monastery would be in the Temple Ward, so that way.
Okay. So you head left to the Temple Ward. Okay. Clarence, as you were first to leave, where did you leave to?
Clarence has always known he's had issues with anger, but he now believes that he may be possessed.
Okay.
And he wants to find someone to help him get rid of this possession.
Sure. So the likelihood is that he's headed towards the Temple Ward then, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, if he's clever enough to know that, then yes.
I would imagine even with his intelligence, he would probably gather that might be a place to at least begin to look. Might not be the right place, but it's probably the best place to start. Okay. In that case, Gotplano and Jirak, how would you like to continue?
You can go first.
Lana's patron actually allowed to be worshipped?
Yeah, I mean, all gods are accepted. It's just whether or not certain places will like, or certain folk will like you. As you've like looked around the room of the tavern, and you try to recall your time walking through the residential ward, you can't recall seeing any other like sigils or symbols of deities at all. But you know, you did see like signs of deities within Western, just not when you reached the residential ward.
Okay, might leave that then. I'm gonna find the library. We'll see if I can find out more about this class.
Okay, sure. So
Yes.
as you leave the tavern, would you like to do a perception check? You can add a D4 to your roll. Well, you clearly don't need that. Yeah, so again, similar thing. You witness a lot of the people, the common folk seem to have like really dark circles, bags under their eyes, like seem to be drawn or lack of sleep or something along those lines. But you come nonetheless to the same sign, the ward to the left. Sorry, the Scholars Ward to the right, the Temple Ward to the left, and the Opal Ward straight ahead, and the market beyond. And sorry, what is it you're looking for?
Go towards the
Okay. Okay. Jirak, in that case.
So Jirak at the moment is sort of trying to compartmentalize. Like he feels a bit shit, so he's just like going like robot, do something that makes sense rather than follow his emotions. So he's gonna go and find someone, like a blacksmith, like a non-shit blacksmith, essentially.
Okay.
He doesn't want to go anywhere that's like really fancy and like out in the open or expose himself, but he wants to protect himself and Kega if possible.
Yeah, sure. No worries. Okay. So you leave kind of too focused on like trying to like put things in boxes and file them in your mind to really pay attention to the common folk of the streets, but you do kind of wander aimlessly, and you eventually come to the signpost that's pointed the directions, which would show you the way. So if you're looking for a blacksmith of sorts, likelihood you would consider that to be somewhere in the market ward.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Lovely, my head there.
So, Goplana, as you sorry, it was the Scholars Ward you was heading to, was it, Goplana? Did you say? Did you say it was the Scholars Ward you was heading to?
Yes, please.
So as you manoeuvre through the streets, the residential area is quite vast, being as that most of the people are sort of compacted into this one ward for living quarters and so on, unless of course they run their own businesses and so on and so forth. But you kind of head towards the Scholars Ward, and you come upon the smell of sweet sugar and honey in the air as you pass a large bakery shop with the sign Sofsky Bakery. And you walk past this large glassed window with cinnamon buns and donuts and chocolate eclairs amongst other bits and pieces as you walk through.
She's going in there.
Okay. Okay. As you enter Sofsky Bakery, you are greeted by two individuals, a woman and a young boy. Well, I say young boy, young man, and they say, welcome to Sofsky Bakeries. How may I assist you today?
Well, not upstairs for a long while. Could I get a couple, please?
Sorry, what is it you're after?
Claire's.
Oh, of course. We have our standard eclairs, or we have our luxurious much more favoured eclairs, but they are rather expensive given what they are. But their quality and ingredients are divine. The exquisite eclairs are 50 gold pieces to say, but they can be packed up in a lovely box with a ribbon, and they will last around 7 days. Or you, of course, can have a standard chocolate eclair. We have papered bags. We have a choice of brown bags and white bags. And you can have a chocolate eclair for 5 silver.
Just out of curiosity,
Yes?
divine ones that makes it 50 gold.
Well, some have said that the ingredients are a chef's secret, but the properties of our specialized ingredients, this would benefit our clients if they were to fall in battle out in the grounds against many creatures that roam the woods. If they were to fall near death, then this would awaken them with a little helping to perhaps get them home. In any other circumstances, they would die.
Oh, interesting. Have you got anything else like that at all?
We have many ingredients, many of our pastries. We have cinnamon buns and donuts. Our exquisite cinnamon buns, they're priced up at 10 gold, and they will. Let's say some people have said that it gives them a bit more oomph to their blade when they attack for at least an hour. And then our donuts, they can make people a little quicker and a little more dexterous, and that at least lasts them about 24 hours. And they are 10 gold pieces, but they come in a variety of additional flavors. We have, of course, our apple donuts, our chocolate-filled donuts, custard, and the traditional jam donuts.
Oh, Lana's got a sweet tooth. Oh no. Okay. For now, can I take a cinnamon bun, one of the exquisite ones, please?
Sure, that will be 10 gold pieces.
That's fine. And I would also like hey, hang on. Is what's his face with her?
Shayal?
One. Is he with us?
No, he would have stayed at the tavern at this point.
Take 5 normal eclairs, please.
Of course. And he kind of flounders around behind him, trying to get compacted. So let's say so that's 25 silver for the regular chocolate eclairs and 10 gold pieces for the cinnamon bun.
Also, I couldn't help noticing the residents as we walked past. They all seemed a bit strange.
Yes, I've heard conversations passing. I try not to pry, but it seems that there's a few that are being tormented during the night, keeping them awake. Bad dreams, I suppose.
You don't happen to know what is that just that I had myself and it was
I can't say I try not to pry, but I know that many of the people that have are complaining about nightmares have recently lost loved ones, children mainly.
Well, thank you very much. It was nice to meet you. I'm definitely going to be back soon.
Well, remember that Simon Brist is happy to assist.
Simon Brist, right?
Indeed.
Wonderful day.
And you. And he kind of nods you out as you leave. Okay, so eventually you do maneuver through the residential zone and you make your way to the Scholar Ward. And as you enter this ward, you are almost amazed, stunned partially by the enormous, grand tower with the spherical object on the top of this tower. Pale white, tall stem with a gold and chrome mechanical devices at the top. You've perhaps read about these in books as observatories. There is also a large academy like building of sorts, and it does actually have a large gold plaque written on top of the main door that says West Hall Academy. And you also see another like dark, like rich blue building, almost from top to bottom, but it's surrounded by like a brick wall about 12 foot tall. There are, of course, a series of guards and individuals walking around this area. Many seem to be wearing particularly some sort of fashionable robe, as it's kind of like a repetitive design that you see amongst some of the individuals around this ward. Go ahead and roll me a perception check, please, Goblana.
There you go.
Okay. Takes you a good part of perhaps an hour and a half, and you don't come across a library in this ward that you can find.
The next thing she look for is whatever. Go to the West Hall Academy and see if there's any in there.
Okay. As you kind of reach the main sort of doors, you go to like open like the door, and it's a large double wooden door with like very sort of ornate designed frosted glass windows, and the grooves that make out the pattern within the window are clear, so you could just about see behind them, and you can see a marble floored room like a reception area, and there's this desk, and you can see the top half of like a forehead, and then this really wild blonde hair just from behind this desk. But the door does not open.
Knock.
Okay. And you kind of, as you look through like the peaks in the glass that you can just make out the room beyond, kind of see this hair twitch and like shuffles back and goes one side closest to the wall and then comes back, and then you see this very short male gnome, blonde wild hair, big goggly glasses on, and it almost seems like forever that it takes him to get to the door, and you start to hear the jingling of keys as you can hear him beginning to unlock the door. And he partially opens. It's like, yes.
Hi. Is this the West Hall Academy, any chance?
Yes. Are you looking for admittance?
Yes. I was wondering if you had a library or anything that members of the public would be able to use.
You'd be looking for the Cobalt Reserve. That's the walled building across the way. However, you will have to ask again permission to enter their library sources. There are, of course, certain restrictions. If you're looking at becoming a member of the academy here, there is a entrance fee, and of course you'd need to require a note from the Lord of Western, and you'd have to make sure that you are able to prove your skills to be able to enter the academy.
And that's just to join, or is that just to use the library?
Well, the libraries here are for students, you see. So, of course, we can't let every member of the public within our walls just rambling through books and taking them out of order and, losing them. There are very important
Yes.
documents, of course. And of course, if you are just after a
I
bookstore...
understand, yes.
I was going to say, the bookstore, there is a bookstore in the market ward that may suit your needs. It depends on how reliable you need the books to be.
I mean, I just wanted to read some, let alone buy some.
Well, I'm sure if you were able to speak to someone at the Cobalt Reserve, they would let you into their public libraries. But of course, they generally don't like people leaving with the books. They're a bit of a funny sort, those Cobalt souls. But
Thank you for your help. What was your name, sorry?
My name is Grindelwald.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome. And kind of shuts the door and locks it again.
Sucks. Right.
Where do you head?
Oh, go to the Cobalt Reserve.
Okay,
Sorry.
no worries. So you kind of walk around this walled, sort of outlined kind of area, this ground, and you come to a gate, like a double, like almost like a cathedral gate. It completely fills the gap in the wall from top to bottom, and there's like a big heavy chain with a very like an oddly like small lock mechanism like around the chain, and you see maybe 2 or 3 individuals in like rich blue like garments that kind of just like hold their hands in front of them. They're very focused on each other. They're usually walking in twos, and you can see within sort of the gap of this gate, this fence, you can see the building in front of you, known now as the Cobalt Reserve, and you see off to the side there's like a lower fenced area that kind of looks like some sort of training ground, but that is all.
Okay. I'm not getting anywhere here.
And
There's no-
you see the individuals within the walls wearing these
I
robes.
can't.
They are very focused.
No, we've drawn too much attention to ourselves, and yeah, Lana, she's just gonna leave it, and she'll go back to the market and
Okay, no
see
worries.
if she can see anyone that she knows.
Sure. Summer, Actually, we'll do Clarence. You approach the temple ward.
Yep.
And you see a series of. In fact, let me do this for you. Oh no, better not, because it's not ready for that, so I'll have to just describe it. You enter the area of the temple ward, and there are a series of, within sort of your perceptive view, there is about 10 like buildings that look like temples. There's a very, very, very big predominant one, and there are a series of other temples that kind of seem to depreciate in size, and there is one that is very, very small, off to the sort of southern area of this sort of temple ward.
Which looks the most holiest?
The most holiest.
Well, the in terms of the least. What are the religions like here? Are they like varying in sort of alignment and equality?
By looking, actually, do me a religion check. Yeah, by looking around, I mean, you can see holy symbols from all walks of life.
Right.
From divine, like the deities, to even some that seem to be bearers of symbols referring to the betrayer gods. It would seem that every walk of life is accepted within this ward to an extent.
I mean, do I have an idea which one might be able to help me out the most?
Probably not with your intelligence.
Right.
Going by who there is there, I mean, the main sort of temples that most people seem to be happy with going to more, probably the first bastion, which is the largest, which would refer to the law bearers. There is Bahamut's Rest. There's one that would worship I forget her name, and I've got her up somewhere. Where are we?
I mean, do I have an idea which one? Clarence is trying to seek forgiveness. So, like, he just wants to go talk to someone and just
probably the knowing mistress or the law bearer. The knowing mistress or the law bearer.
I like the sound of the knowing mistress.
Okay, so she has a temple known as the Weeping Willow. It's a medium-sized temple. It's fairly simple in design. Some of it's very naturified. There are trees within its inside of the grounds, within the inside, and there is a halfling female with clerical robes that sort of stands right at the very forefront of the nicely decorated stained glass window within this temple, with her back to you.
Is there anyone else in the building?
It's still very early, so not at the moment, no.
I will approach the cleric. Excuse me, hello.
Hello.
Hi. I need help.
Are you lost?
No, well, kind of spiritually, yes. Aren't we all?
I'm sure that we will be able to help you here at the Weeping Willow. What is it you
Um,
seek?
I have a great anger within me, which I'm finding more and more difficult to control, and I'm scared.
Well, the knowing mistress will, I'm sure, help you learn your secrets and unveil them to the world.
I don't know if the world wants them unveiled.
Truth is guiding one's emotions and path. What is this great anger that you fear that is deep down inside you?
Well, I get angry.
What makes you angry?
Just everything and anything. When people threaten me, and people threaten my friends I love, and I can't control it. It becomes harder to control, and I don't know what I'm doing, and I'm scared.
It's okay. And she places her hand gently on your shoulder. You feel like a strange, like, warmth. Not just like a warmth of like someone else touching you. It's like intensified. But it's comfortable. She says, it is important to know that if something is making you angry, it is good to teach yourself the importance of reason, understanding why you are getting angry, what has made you angry, and guiding you. And that is the only way that you can control your emotions. I'm sure that if you are willing to take in the knowing mistress as your guide, and you pray to her, she will listen, and she will help guide you.
Do you really think so?
I'm sure she would. And like off to the side, she kind of leans and she picks up like this like silver plate. And there are a series of like coin on this plate, and she just says, "The knowing mistress will show you the way." And she just smiles at you.
I dropped 5 gold.
Oh, lovely. She kind of is a bit sort of shocked that so much so soon, but she smiles. She says, "I am Cleric Blossom Suan."
Blossom Suan.
SU''N.
SU''N. How do you spell apostrophe?
And she's just like awkwardly like gives you like a sign with her finger, like showing you what an apostrophe is.
Is it silent?
Yes, it helps identify the sound of my surname.
Oh. Okay. Well, and so if I talk to her and I pray to her, the knowing mistress, she will help me.
I'm sure she will do her best. She has helped to guide me in many pathways that I have found difficult.
Did you get angry as well?
No, but I was very lost. And now I feel I am found, and it is my duty to help others on the right path.
Do you have any literature I could take away with me?
You can take one of our Bibles. And she passes you this very small hand-sized, almost like novelty-sized Bible for the knowing mistress. It has like a rich, dark forest green binding around it, with like as you look at the book closed, it almost looks like it has golden pages. It's obviously
Oh.
like golden leaf sort. But in there, you will find the details regarding anything you wish to know, or at least understand the knowing mistress's ways, or where her history is derived from.
Thank you. I will read this every night.
Hopefully, you'll maybe join one of our seminars.
You do seminars?
Indeed,
When's
many of the
the next
followers.
one?
Oh, not for many moons, but
Oh.
I'm sure you would be more than welcome.
Are you going to be talking?
Myself and many of my cleric sisters and brothers will surely have words to say, words of wisdom to help guide and prove the knowing mistress that you are following the path that you are learning to take.
Well, thank you very much. And kind of give her a little bow and kind of keep bowing as I walk away.
Sure, she kind of does chuckle a little bit to herself, but yeah, nonetheless, cool. So let me edit this document a moment, and I will allow Clarence. You have in your journal the notes on the knowing mistress.
Ooh. Do I know anything about her? Are you can I? Is it alright if I Google her, or
Yeah,
do
of
you want
course.
me to
I've literally given you the notes for what was put out there, but anything you find regarding her would be context of that book. So yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Anything you find,
Cool.
you can most certainly use. Okay. Jirak.
Yes.
As you approach the market ward, the market is flooded with all kinds of wonders. There are shops and tents and stalls and buildings with all kinds of exotic wonders that either hang in displays on the outside of their buildings or are sort of on show. There are many different types of things to find and to see, to purchase, and so on. However, you are there not just for anything, but you're there to see a man about a dog. You are there to see a blacksmith.
That I am. I'm gonna essentially I'm gonna look for the number 2 blacksmith in town. Like not the one that's right on the center, right in the promenade, maybe the one that's like slightly worse than that.
Sure.
Like I'm not going to McDonald's, I'm going to Burger King.
Sure.
Kind of thing.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So you do come across a building that has 2 open workshop that are side by side. It's the same building, but it seems that there are 2 separate doorways for this business. But they both are open doors to these massive workshops either side in terms of perspective for the space that they're within. One side you see many blades of weaponry of types, and you see working away in the distance of this room a half-orc male owner, and on the opposite side there's a partition between the 2 spaces. The other side you see a dwarven female working away, and you can see within display and workings there are many armory type designs that are going on that are currently being worked upon.
Mm-hmm. So he's the weaponsmith, she's the armorsmith sort of thing.
Indeed, yeah.
Okay, then I will head to the dwarven woman.
Wonderful. She kind of
I'm going to call out in Dwarvish as I enter the door. Hail and well met. I seek your finest armor.
She goes to say hail and well met back to you, but halfway through she kind of goes, hello, I was expecting a dwarf.
I lived in Crackhammer for many years. My accent can be quite confusing sometimes, so I apologise.
You did a good job. What can I do for you?
Well, first of all, my name is Jirak Longclaw. This is Kega. As you can see, our protection isn't the most. It's rudimentary, and I sort of like motion to my patched together, just piles of like different bits of chainmail. I was wondering, A, do you stock breastplates, and B, is it possible for you to cater to the my four-legged friend over here?
Well, I can't say I've done much work for Mountain Lion, but you definitely look like you need new armor. It looks like you've tried to do some work yourself.
I tried an apprenticeship for a couple of days. Didn't turn out well. This is about as far as I got.
Well, being raised with the dwarfs of Craghammer, I thought you might have picked up a bit more of the technique, but clearly not.
I was more with the warriors than the smiths, I'm afraid.
You think the smiths are not good enough warriors?
I think it's more that the warriors are not good enough smiths.
Yes. Well, okay. I'm sure we can put things together. I can tidy up what you have, but if you're after just some breastplate, well, that can be costly. But let me see what I have laying around. And she kind of like divers into some like sheet metals and stuff that she has laying around. If I can ever get the thing to work. Clearly cannot. Trying to find where it's not loading. I think I may have a problem with my Roll20. Just bear with. Let's try this another way. So yes, I can put you together some breastplate, but it generally can be around 400 gold pieces for something handmade. I can put a bit of flourish on it if you like. Some ornate designs I will chuck in for free.
No, it'll be a function of a form, I will admit. Now, you can probably guess by my attire and the fact that I have a spear on me, I am in the business of, well, being a sell sword is a sell spear, probably more accurate. But I was wondering, would there be any jobs that you might require being done? Maybe just going to fetch something, carrying out a delivery, maybe, rough someone up, so as to maybe mitigate the cost. I understand it wouldn't make it zero, but well, we've run into a bit of hard times at the moment, so I was hoping to maybe bump it down a bit.
Go ahead and roll a persuasion check for starters.
Oh boy.
And we will.
An unnatural 1.
Okay. Kind of leans forward to you, leaning on her workbench, and she says, If you're finding it hard to pay, I'm sure that we can come to an arrangement. And she like grins, and you see one of her teeth is like gold and shiny, and she winks at you with the other eye.
I like a tooth. I have a similar earring, and I like pull my I've got a small gold band embedded in one of my ears. Matching, huh? Unfortunately, it's difficult to find someone who can gold plate one of these bad boys, and I like tap on one of my tusks.
Indeed, but I'm thinking that it's still early, and we can lock the doors and come to an arrangement.
I'm sure it would, yeah, to save anyone interrupting our negotiations. That makes perfect sense. Kega, would you mind the door for us? And I go over and close it.
Yeah, I mean, it takes you a few steps to get to the door. By the time you get to the door, and these are big sort of shed type, like garage type doors, so it takes you a bit of a yank to pull them close, and there's like a small bar that comes down as you close them. And as you turn around, you see this female bearded dwarf with a gold tooth that's probably maybe 10 years on you, completely stuck.
I immediately look directly up at the ceiling. Your apron appears to have fallen down just a tad.
She goes, "Oh, so you did notice. Oh, perhaps you can come and pick it up, unless you'd like me to do it."
Well, whatever gets me a discount.
Okay.
And I walk over, like, sort of, I say, Kega, leave me over there, and I put my hand on Kega's back and have her walk me over so as to avert my gaze, and then, like, feel around on the floor for, like, I guess a pile of clothes or an apron or any, like, thing of fabric, and just hold it up. There you go.
As you do that, go ahead and make me a dexterity save.
Save? Oh,
Yeah.
boy. Oh, no, I'm actually not bad at those. 20.
Okay. You feel like almost like the delicate touch, or like not so delicate because she's a working woman, like sort of like go to the back of you, and you kind of like awkwardly like just jolt up and like, here it is. Go ahead and she's like, actually no, she says now don't be so coy. And she like puts her hand on your chest and pushes you against the wall.
Oh, fuck. I think at this point, Jirak is just like very slow thinking, okay, right. Never had the talk with my dad because he died before we could. So, what have I heard from my, like, pals in the tribe sort of thing? So I put. Have you seen Spider-Man Spider-Verse? We put his hand on Gwen's shoulder and goes, "Hey," like very, very badly. Jirak 100% does that and just completely stuffs it up.
So go ahead and do me a performance check.
Gotta get that -1, boys. Oh yes.
Okay. Let's do. I wonder if I can do it. One thing.
I really like that machine.
Which one?
The one you don't like, the one trusted.
Oh, the computer.
So she will give you 10% off of the cost of the breastplate, giving you a small interaction and altercation behind closed doors, you can have 10% off your purchase of breastplate at this stage.
I'll have that. So
it wasn't great, but it kind of just, you know, it filled that gap, so to speak.
Wait. Before, like, completely transparently, did I bang the dwarf? Because Durak is a virgin.
You tell me.
He has no idea what he's doing.
You tell me. You rolled so poorly in your performance, but you rolled really high on your dexterity.
I think the second she tries to take his clothes off, he like leaves a Durak-shaped hole in the wall as he runs through it.
No, understanding the awkwardness, she kind of sees that you're very shy, but then also doesn't want to embarrass herself, so entertains the fact that there's a 10% discount on the armor.
I think Durak gets like most of the money he has out, so like 100 gold, and says, "You've been close enough to take my measurements, I assume. Fine smiths such as yourself could take them just by eye alone, and you've certainly got an eyeful. Consider this 100 gold, a down payment. Roughly how long will it take to complete the armor?" I'm just like desperately trying to just change the conversation back to business, get away from this.
Well, now that we are friends, we can look at possibly making sure that the work is done in, let's say, 3 days.
I can work with 3 days, and in that time, maybe I can bump up the 10%. Are you sure there's no work you need done other than work within these walls?
If you're after extra cash, there are a few ways within Westron that you could do that. I mean, I don't have any work myself. Most of my clients come to me, and we already have runners if we need deliveries. But you can always try your hand at gambling. There are many taverns that entertain this foreplay.
I'm afraid I'm not a lucky man. We shall leave it as it is then. I'd leave the 100 gold, and I say, and while I have you, I'm sure you know of many fine warriors that fit your establishment.
What do you mean?
I am looking for someone who is. You understand, me and my companion here, we fight as a unit, but I'm afraid there's not much direction, I suppose is the best way to describe it. We sort of just look for openings. I'm looking for someone to teach me more, I suppose, a tactical way of fighting. I'm looking for
if you're looking for a little teach me, then you can speak to, there's a trainer just within the walls of the Cobalt Soul. He has many techniques to help train those in needs. Of course, it would depend on what you need to learn, what you want to pick up, but he is very highly regarded, hence why they have allowed him within the city walls of Westron and to work within the walls of the Cobalt Reserve.
And what might the name of this trainer be?
I wish you didn't ask me so quickly.
And what? Give you all the time you need.
Give me a sec, I'm trying to find the notes. I'm sure I gave him a name. Definitely gave him a bloody name. Where the fuck is it? I bloody did it. Now why can't I find it? Ward is not there. It's not there. Sorry about this. 1 second. I will find it. Let me look in my notes instead. NPCs. Bertrude Feather Axe.
Bertrude Featheraxe. Oh, shit. Okay. Bertrude Featheraxe. Now, to me, that sounds like a gnomish name. Is that, like, in character? Is that a gnomish name, or am I just imagining things?
No, he is human, funny enough.
Well, I shall keep an eye out for him. And how expensive are his services?
That depends on what you need. I'm sure that if you do a better job than you did with me, then the prices could be better. And she kind of winks at you again.
Well, I'm certainly more confident with my spear than my spear. Thank you very much. I'll be going now. And I just walk out the front door. Also, completely forgot to ask, what's her name?
What's her name? Hold on, I do have that, definitely.
Yeah.
Where is it? Ward. Do. Let me get to the right ward. Is market ward. Western. I thought it was in that notes. It's in this notes. Her name is female. Trevane Baxlow.
Can you type that out, please?
Of course.
Backslow. Lovely. Thank you very much. Right. Well, Jirak is going to, I think for the time being, head back to the tavern. He wants to regroup with everyone. So,
okay.
Go
Go ahead
else.
and do me a perception check, just so I know how quickly or how, whenever you decide to get back.
Mm-hmm. I also have the wanderer trait, so it shouldn't take too long for me to figure out the
Sure.
layout of the city.
Good. Okay. So we've done that. And let's do Summer.
Hi.
So as you approach the market ward, you're not going to the market ward, you're going to the temple ward, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. As you approach this temple ward, you hear the screaming and crying as guards begin to rush past you. In the distance, you hear blasting of something in the area. I would say at this point, Clarence, you would also hear this. Let me just see on the map how close everyone else would be to this.
Could we see the map of Western?
Of
Just so
course
we
you
can
can.
visualize. Thank you.
So, Summer, Mr. Game and Pigeon says that you also have the coin thing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
So Summer would be entering sort of perhaps. There's rest. What's not the biggest one in there? It's probably about here. As you are travelling through Girac and you are in the market ward, you would probably hear this occurring as well, because you're relatively close and you're heading back to the residential wards. The likelihood is you would have possibly manoeuvred around through towards where the temple ward is to bypass the opal ward to the resident ward. Yeah, so as you hear this blasting going on in the distance, what do you do?
First of all, Summer's gonna take note before she goes anywhere to see if there is a monastery of the Golden Sun there, or anything that might be associated with it.
Of whose temple? Sorry.
Of the monastery that she's from.
Oh, for this.
Her?
So, what was it? The Golden Sun.
Yeah.
Go ahead and roll a perception check for me. Not that you could see. I mean,
Okay.
that someone would probably know, even with like how many deities and betrayer gods seem to be accepted even in small doses here, that even like this would probably be like very niche. So it may be very, very few people are even aware of that sort of thing. So it's probably not wide knowledge.
Yeah. After that, she's gonna start heading towards the noise.
Okay. Clarence and Girac, would you be following? As you hear this in the distance, in each direction you're at.
I would definitely.
Okay.
Sorry, I was away from the table.
So there is blasting and screaming going on in the temple ward.
When you say blasting, do you mean like explosions?
Like something impacting stone, definitely.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to head over. Not necessarily like weapon at the ready, but definitely want to figure out what's going on.
Okay.
Clarence is running in the opposite direction.
Opposite direction?
Yeah.
Fair enough. Okay, good to know. So, did I reset or did I not reset? Temple ward, where are we? Temple ward. Right, we have no got planner, no Clarence. Sorry,
actually, do you know what? I think with holding the book, he would feel like an inner power, having just been given this holiest of books.
Fair enough.
So I think he'd be scared, but he would go towards it.
Okay, good to know.
Where is Lana on this map?
Lana would be in the topmost ward, the scholar ward. So you're probably, I would say, as you've tried to approach Cobalt Reserve, you're probably right on the Tipex here.
Okay, cool. Lana has no fucking clue what's going on. Good luck, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, the coins, they can't even contact me. Good luck.
Okay, so yeah, as you rush towards this altercation, you come away. It takes you a little while because there are obviously many temples and buildings that kind of weave you in and out of the streets. You actually do come across each other, like heading in the same direction, and you come to like this bypass that begins to open up, and there are explosions. You see like energy blasting at walls, and stone and debris just like ricocheting off everywhere, and plumes of smoke kind of like start to pour from like sides and corners of buildings as as you enter just outside the largest of the temples within the temple ward, the first bastion. If it'll load, I hope it does. Okay. And by the time it takes you to get here, you all see a hooded figure wearing a crimson red hood, and there are a dozen or so imps flying about. This hooded figure, hidden by the hood itself, opens out their palm in your direction, and a black purplish plume of smoke fires from his hands twice in your direction. If I could have you all make dexterity saving throws.
Do I still have my disguised self on at this point?
Yeah. Well, how long does it last?
I think it lasts for an hour.
Yeah, I would have said it would drop by now.
Oh, okay.
Is this a spell?
Is it a spell?
Yeah.
It is a spell, but it's an attack spell. Okay. So. D10 plus 4. Does that work? No, it doesn't work. Damn you. Do it that way. That way. No, why is it not working?
Is that 0 damage we take?
No, it's not doing what I need it to do. 6, there we go, plus 4. So you take 20 points of damage there, Summer, as these two plume blasts come off in your direction. The rest of you manage to dash out the way as it impacts the ground, and like it actually the energy hits you severely enough to push you back, and you take a severe amount of damage. Not enough to knock you on the floor, but you look back out of the smoke as it drifts out, and you see the partial face of this hooded figure looks back at you all, and you see the glow from their eyes narrow ever slightly as they step backwards, and this portal closes around them.
Oh, I swear to God, cat.
So, as the portal closes around them, you see several guards and townfolk lay in pools of blood. you hear the sobbing of a male off near the doorway of the first bastion, sobbing. He's wearing royal golden-looking robes, and he says, "No, no, why? They've taken it. They've taken it. By the gods, this won't end well."
Summer's gonna run over, sort of shake him by the shoulders, and say, "What? Who's taken what?"
They come from nowhere. They took us by swarm, and they've taken it. I can't believe I've let them take it.
Taken what?
It was a ledger, an old text. It was meant to talk about the whereabouts of a beast that can be found. This beast is able to break any chain or any binds that hold it captive, even those that are created by gods. If it uses it, it can unlock so many evils onto this land. Things that have been hidden in locations secretly around Tal'Dorei, even forgotten dungeons or prisons. Oh God! Are you going to do anything? To just stand there?
Well, I can't exactly do anything now. They're gone, aren't they? Unless you can magically portal us to wherever it is that they are.
I'm a cleric. I'm not capable of such magic. But you're like he was.
Excuse me.
You're a tiefling, right?
Well, I do have these horns for a reason.
He had horns, like you.
Like me. What does he look like?
He was covered by a hood, and those other devils, they're very intimidating.
But did you see his face? Anything on his face?
Just his chin, perhaps. His eyes glowed. He wasn't the same color as you, though.
What colour was he?
Like the blossom tree there, the pale red.
Does Summer recognise this person from her dreams?
From her dreams?
Yeah.
You most certainly do.
Summer, you thinking what I'm thinking?
Yep.
Ah, fuck. Speaking Stone, find Lana. Tell her to come here as soon as possible.
But I thought you had it. She gave it to you last.
No, she gave it to you last.
No. I was a mouse.
So she gave it to you.
Oh, so we've both got one.
Yeah.
That's fucking useless. Right, you get out the doorway, and I point to the cleric. Get out of harm's way. I'm gonna have Kega sniff around and see if you can pick up a scent. Actually, is Shael with us?
Nope.
You're a forest gnome.
You enjoy that.
Forest gnomes can befriend
Small animals.
things, right?
Yeah, small animals.
Can you
Send the rat.
find a squirrel? Yeah.
Squirrel mail.
Can I? Yeah, can I fight? Are there any small woodland not woodland, but just small creatures running around town?
Go ahead and roll an investigation check.
Can I do it? Because it's the first time I'll be able to use advantage on tracking an animal.
Go ahead.
With the first beast we're looking for.
Did anyone? Did it? I know some of you said that you didn't. I think it was only Goplana that ate the pretzel. No one else ate the pretzel, did they?
No.
Oh, I did.
Did
I
you
didn't.
actually?
I ate exclusively meat.
Okay. In that case, just so you are aware, so I don't forget. You have. Oh no, it's run out anyway because it only lasted for an hour. No, that's fine. Don't worry about it. Okay.
What was it then?
You have 1d4 to your checks.
Okay.
Yeah, Jarrett, you do see, surprisingly, in the same grounds of the temple, or the trees that are in this forecourt, there's like an abundance of them, and there is a black squirrel that seems to be foraging around, like more cautiously now because of course what has just occurred, but he's kind of realised that the danger is gone, and he's now like gone like, oh shit, I dropped my nuts, let me pick my nuts back up, kind of thing.
Can I use my speak with small beasts and pick up his nuts for him and hand them to the black squirrel?
You can. You can also roll a animal handling check with advantage.
That was a terrible roll.
It's like just snatches, like as you pick up one of the nuts that are on the floor, he kind of just like snatches and like clasps it to his chest and like looking at you like nervously, his tail twitching.
Whoa, buddy! No need to be like that. We're all friends here.
Someone's going to turn to them and sort of say, I might have an idea, but it might just be very stupid and not actually work, and it's just going to make me look ridiculous.
As long as it doesn't kill any civilians, I think it's a good idea.
Okay, so she's going to pull the scroll out of a bag and just sort of start waving it around, trying to open it, like hitting it on things to try and open it, just waving it like an absolute lunatic.
You've got one in one corner. There's a gnome talking to a squirrel.
Can I ask the gnome if he's heard the word of the?
Sorry.
I'd like to ask the squirrel, sorry, if he's heard the word of the knowing mistress.
Kind of just. Remind me of this spell. Can they talk to you back, or you can understand them, or is it just the fact that you're able to communicate to them
Through
so
sounds,
they can understand?
through sounds and gestures, you may communicate simple ideas with small or smaller beasts.
That's fine, because you've literally just done the whole Emperor's New Groove squeakity squeak squeak scene with this squirrel.
What's that?
Have you ever seen Emperor's New Groove?
I haven't, unfortunately.
Next weekend.
Yeah, exactly. So you literally, the rest of you witness as Clarence is going squeak squeakity squeak squeak to this squirrel, and you hear this squirrel going to Clarence, and you kind of get
show him the book as well.
Yeah, he kind of just like thumbs up at the book kind of thing.
Oh god.
So yeah,
Do squirrels have thumbs?
Kind of, yeah, they're opposable, aren't they? Yeah.
I have no idea.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they do.
Can't say I'm an
Still, they hold
expert in
nuts.
squirrel biology. I'm mostly badger specialist.
If not, they would be able to hold nuts.
Yeah.
This is true.
And then I kind of turn to Jarek and say, why am I talking to a squirrel again?
We need to find Lana. We shouldn't go tracking down like something that smells of sulfur, and like you can tell Jarek's like, and maybe the person from my dreams, which is very scary. Without,
I mean, I'm assuming that Summer is insulted if this is exactly who she thinks she is, and he's just attacked her. Like, bro, that's not nice. That's rude.
Yeah, we definitely need to find Lana and Shael. Did we know what Shael did, or have we just said he stayed at the tavern?
He probably just went off shopping into the market
Okay.
ward, I would imagine, for paper,
Shopping!
nonetheless.
Right. Well, who wants to find who?
I'll send the squirrel to find Shael.
Okay. Oh,
Okay.
Can I find another squirrel to send to Lana?
doesn't look like there's many squirrels here.
Is there like a rat?
No.
Not a rat. Lana will just fucking stamp on it if it comes to you in here.
There's birds as well.
What's that, lassie? There's a demon attack at the church.
Oh no, you took my joke.
So, like, are you relaying that this squirrel is going to find your friend Shael?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So he's like, you spend a moment or two kind of almost like giving him instructions to what Shael looks like, who to look out for, that kind of thing. It's like, yeah, he's like got a singing blade, you can't miss him, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And
I promised him nuts as well.
Yeah, well, even better. He's like gives you almost like a salute and like squeak 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 salutes, and then
Squeak,
he just
squeak, squeak,
he just
squeak, squeak.
looks up at the sky, puts out his hands like almost like Jesus on the cross, and you hear a "Ah!" and out of nowhere this like crow just snatches him out of the ground and just like carries him off, and you can see as you look up, you like almost in shock and surprise that this has happened, you look up and he just kind of like gives you a thumbs up as he's being carried off.
Oh, good. I thought he was about to be eaten. I got really good. I was literally
That
about
was
to
a
throw my
roller
warhammer.
coaster of emotion.
So, guys, this guy is still weeping on the floor, and he's still not very happy with what's occurred.
Someone's going to go back over to him, drag him up to his feet, and then sort of shove him and say, "Man the fuck up."
Clarence is going to stop her
Oh, bro.
And
He's
just-
a man of the cloth now.
and just be like, remember what happened last time? We have to be nice to people. And just ask him.
Being nice, it's called tough love, you fucking midge.
Okay, for someone so against like being discriminated against, I don't think midge is the term to be using. I'm gonna go over to the other people in the church and ask them, like, because obviously we weren't here when the commotion started.
Yeah.
I want to find out, like,
That's
did
what
a
I'm talking
portal just like appear in the middle of the room? Did they like bust in through a wall? What happened?
Yeah. The only like people that don't look like they're either really badly injured and unconscious or dead, there's a very small elven boy.
How is Blossom? Blossom's son?
Blossom was from a different temple, so she probably is quite safe.
Okay, good. Phew.
Who is this a temple to?
This is the Lawbearer. This is the first
This is Lawbearer.
bastion. Actually, as you enter this temple, you would see Jirak.
Get out.
Where's the first bastion? Got too many
Clarence.
maps.
Clarence hears a dove cooing, and then asks and remembers that he needs to ask about the ledger.
Sorry, ignore this outside bit. I did this before I did the other bit.
Oh, hey, it's those lot. I know them.
Do we have to fight them?
No, I don't know. You'd lose.
I assume they're statues and they haven't just.
They are most
suddenly
definitely
got that big.
statues. They all look very strong and noble and heroic. You would notice, of course, there are many plaques around the base of each of the statues with names referring to who they are, and of course a much larger statue, a much larger plaque that says Vox Machina.
Out of character, Dirac knows who these people are, right? He did some research into.
Likelihood is
Like-
many people of Tal'Dorei
Yeah,
know
yeah.
who Vox Machina
Common
is.
knowledge, saviors
Yeah.
of the realm and all that.
Indeed. By this point, most certainly.
I think Dirac gives the Vax statue a curt nod, and then is gonna look around the room for survivors. I think he's also gonna like try and find like if anyone's injured and he thinks he can help, then maybe like try patch them up. But
Yeah, I mean there are a few that like have probably sprained ankles or broken legs, and some have like wounds in the side of their chests and stuff. So you can most certainly spend
like
a moment
I'm
or two
not
going
spending
kind
spell
of-
slots, just bandaging,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
maybe
yeah.
setting some dislocated shoulders, that sort of thing. Some
with
simple
your
stuff.
knowledge. Yeah, no worries. You managed to kind of do that. In fact, go ahead and do a medicine check for me, just to see how comfortably you do it.
Oh boy, let's see how
Making
badly this
things
goes.
Yeah, I mean, you do like one or two like fine. You come across like this very stern looking woman, and she's got like her arm is completely like dropped from its socket, and you go over to reassure her that you're there to help, and you kind of like, okay, this might hurt. Oh, don't worry, it'll be over before you know it. And you go to yank it into place, and it doesn't go back in. And you yank it again, and it doesn't go back in. And it takes you about 3 attempts before it finally clicks, and she just looks at you, giving you the most like dead eyes possible.
Cleric, I'm a bit out of my depth, and I'm calling out for because I assume there are like actual like leveled clerics.
Yeah, and by this
in the
point,
temple,
a handful of other temples have come to the aid and are trying to sort of put things back together, and made like a quick kind of haste over to what's happened. But yeah, they kind of get to it, and the balded guy that was from outside, he kind of comes back in. You can see the devastation on his face, and he's just like in shock, just looking at the mess and destruction that has happened within the first bastion. He's like, are you sell swords? Forgive me, you have blades and weapons, and one thing, another. I would expect perhaps your mercenaries or sell swords or something.
We're friends. We're friends traveling together.
You, and he approaches you, Summer. You didn't seem shocked of my description of the individual.
Yes. Well, I may have seen somebody matching that description in my dreams, believe it or not.
Dreams. Oh, what kind of dreams?
Almost like a life before this one, but with the people that are here. Almost like, I don't really know, maybe it happened before, but none of us remember.
Only you have these dreams?
No, actually, Jared has the same dreams.
They are vague, but it's true.
I think I recall something similar happening in the past to others, but my head's sorry. I think I was hit rather heavy.
Sit down, and I like motion to a mostly intact pew.
You did you know the individual with the hood?
Know of.
Would you know how to find him?
No clue.
There's no one else better for the job. If you already know who it is.
I might know one person who might be able to find him, but I don't particularly want to ask for her help.
Well, the ledger that was taken, it tells of a place of a beast known as the Cerberus of Batar.
Well, that sounds lovely.
It's a three-headed hellish mutt.
Jesus Christ.
It was apparently captured many years ago by a hero known as Bertrand Bell. Once allied himself with Vox Machina, apparently. Or so his books tell you. He captured it, placed it in a dungeon to be forgotten.
Single-handedly, I heard.
You must have read the same book. Nonetheless, the Hound, although captured in its prison, howled for months, bringing all sorts of evil scourge to its aid. And the prisons were overrun by undead and devils and horrors of all sorts. So some powerful mages were sent there to cast an everlasting ancient sleeping spell upon it. And the location became quiet as the Cerberus sleeps, although if his location is now known, all this hooded figure would need is a way to wake it. And if he does, it will obey his every command.
Well, that is one thing I don't intend on letting happen. Because if that is really who I think it is, he is not himself.
Let's hope for your sake, whatever the outcome is, he does not wake up that Cerberus.
We'll just have to find it before he does.
You must. And he kind of like begins to roll his eyes into the back of his head, and he slumps, and you hear a
Well, you've got to be fucking kidding me. She's just gonna sort of start jabbing at him with her foot to see whether or not he's faking it.
doesn't seem to move from you kicking him. You can roll an insight check if you like.
A what?
An insight check.
An insight.
Insight.
Yeah.
It's hard to tell. He could be faking it. I mean, he's pretty battered.
I'm gonna cast Cure Wounds on him.
Okay.
Hopefully it's not too late. Actually, I'm gonna do a medicine check just to make sure he's like breathing before I do,
Yep.
because I don't want to pump
Go
it
ahead
into
and
an
do that.
actual corpse.
You spend a good bit of like 60 seconds like trying to find a pulse or like seeing if he's breathing. You don't find anything.
Fuck. Well, at least it wasn't directly us this time. Right. Well, let's hope that paragliding squirrel found Lana and Shael, and they're on their way here soon. Because I think it's about time we hunt down the missing member of the group.
So, Goplana, a few hours have passed, and you've looked around, and you kind of just going about your day, enjoying Western. You've kind of been a bit distracted with these new sites. You kind of went out with a determination to find this bookstore or this library, and to no avail. You kind of just then decided to try and look for something else, but you kind of got distracted. There are many wonders and lovely areas within Western.
She's gone full on like tourist, picking up pasta, everything.
Defo.
Trying food.
Go ahead and roll me a perception check, please.
Squirrel lands on my head. Enough. To be flung into the abyss.
Yeah, you kind of like, you don't know what it was, but something catches your eye, and you look up, and you kind of have to put your hand to your face a little bit to like glare out the sun, and you see this like crow with this like squirrel on the end, and it's coming towards you, but this squirrel is going like waving and squeaking at you as it kind of just plops right onto your chest and just like looks at you, and then just like goes and points in this like general direction. It's like me.
Really good. Right, let's follow the squirrel.
Okay, cool. Clambers down your chest onto the ground. And
I have got to speak with animals.
Okay, good to know.
Fuck do you want?
Yeah, your friends. They are. There was an attack and nuts, and oh my god, nuts. Yeah, you need to come this way.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Right, all the way.
Okay. So this black squirrel is like
Anyway.
darting from one like cobblestone to another, and it's almost like a really weird like pattern. He's just like dotting from one stone to another, and eventually about 30-40 minutes or so pass, and you come to the temple zone, the temple ward, and you're brought to the outside of the first bastion temple to the lawbearer.
Cheers. I'm gonna break a little bit of my eclair off, give it to the squirrel, and walk inside.
Cool.
I've had a great day, guys. This place is cool. I've got some pamphlets. We can go and check things out. I've made some people absolutely drenched with water. I've had a really good day. How have you been?
There are at least 7 people dead in this room alone.
Indeed.
I didn't notice. I did notice, but I wasn't commenting. What have you done this time?
Thankfully, it wasn't us.
Yeah, we didn't do this one.
Can it be pinned on us?
Certainly fucking hope not.
Go ahead, anyone that would be willing or wanting to, you can roll perception checks for me.
What are we doing?
Perception?
Fuck.
Oh, shit, Mads. Okay. Goplani, you can and do hear, as well as you do, Jirak, the steps of a series of armament boots heading in the distance. The general.
Hide or go? And she's going to turn into a mouse and hide behind one of the pillars because that worked so well last time.
Okay.
Under Grog's foot.
Okay, cool. Anyone else doing anything?
Point of interest.
Mhm.
Where is the squirrel right now?
Hey, he's gone back to his tree and his nuts.
Fine.
Did
He
I?
was well rewarded for his efforts.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to hide in the statues
Why are we hiding? Like,
and
there's
pray.
just been an attack. Of course, there are going to be guards here. I don't think we need to.
Pin it on us.
Yeah, the last time I checked, the town's guards were fucking assholes.
Remember what we did?
You're in the temple ward at the moment, and the guard that you had the altercation with was currently at a gate. Whether or not he'll be part of this assortment is to be seen, but it's up to you. What do you do?
All cops are bastards. Don't trust a single one of them.
Fuck the
Yeah.
po-po.
Very much Durac sentiment. Unironically, fuck the police. Right. So, are there any like clerics or anyone who saw us arrive post disaster? Is there anyone nearby?
Go ahead and roll an investigation check.
The squirrel.
Fuck's sake.
Oh, it's not gonna help us.
13.
You're bad at this point.
You kind of look around, and everyone kind of looks really similar. It's hard to tell if anyone saw you come into this ward, but of course, I mean, you know of one person that definitely saw what happened that's still alive.
The squirrel.
Right. Well, I'm just going to make it look like I'm tending to the wounded. I don't trust myself enough to be able to hide from the guards. Well, I'm not going to be like right in the open. Maybe tucked behind a pew up here or something, like looking after someone who's been murked a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, by this point, the footsteps are getting louder and louder, and you do hear the regiment of whatever is carrying outside here, outside the door, and he's kind of, you can hear someone like giving instruction to the rest of the guard, and he's like, wait here, I'll go inside. Just make sure that the artifact is delivered with the rest. Yes, that's what I said. No, it's not to be handled or seen by anyone of the public. No, they can wait. It'll be unveiled tomorrow anyway. No, wait here. And you see this like old, balding, not fully bald, but really high sort of widow's peak, male, human, grey hair slicked back, a little bit tubby around the middle, holding on to his blade. As he walks in, he kind of looks very sort of authoritative, and he's looked around, like, looks at you, Summer. You there,
Yes.
monk.
Yes.
Come here. Kind of
Oh,
beckons
I'm
you
in
over.
trouble.
Bad time to have horns, I think.
What,
Yeah,
can
my
you
hood is up.
can you tell me what's happened here, monk?
Well, these, I do believe they were imps, were killing everyone, looking for, I do believe, an old text about a beast, a 3-headed beast, I do believe. I can't quite remember the name. I'm sorry. But
Are you telling me of tales and fables? I want to know why people are dead.
I'm telling you exactly why people are dead. Imps are looking for this text. They stole it. Stabby, stabby, lots of your guards and
Where did they go?
other people. They teleported out, or it looked like they teleported out, or like portaled out.
Go ahead and roll a persuasion. Persuasion? Yeah, sure. Persuasion.
14.
Well, make sure you carry on tending to the injured.
Absolutely.
It looks like it's all settled down here. I think we can say that people will be catered and cared for in the correct manner. And you hear another kind of, and it's another like young, half elf, younger male with his armor is clearly too big for him. He comes in, he's like, sir, there were sights of imps and devils that came out of the underwalk. What's happened here, sir? He's like, you boy, you're too late. There's already been an attack, and they've already gone. And he's like, but so there was witnesses. They saw. God, that's a far walk. Out of the underwalk, devils and imps. And he's like clearly catching his breath back, where he's tried running all the way from where this so-called site was to have meant to have come from.
I think you need to sit down before you pass out.
Kind of goes to nod and goes to take a seat down, and like the older gentleman's like, he's like, oh, yes sir, back to duty. And he kind of just like carries on and like runs back. You can hear him like in the distance. You even hear like, because there's steps on the outer edge, you can hear the as he kind of slips down like 2 of the steps. And he's like, oh god, and then carries on as he runs off. He's like, well, make sure that the injured go to the infirmary and the dead go to the morgue. Anything else, make sure you report it to the guards. And he nods at you all and looks around one last time and turns very regimentally and then marches out of the building once again.
Right, well, that wasn't entirely awful.
That's a surprise.
Oh, hi. Right. Has Shael joined us for this point as well, or
Not quite yet.
okay? Well, I say the second we get a hold of Shael, we ask him to use his super cool magic powers, figure out if they went to a different plane or just somewhere else nearby, because one of those is going to be a lot easier to deal with than the other.
Okay. Is there anything else you want to do before we tie up the session?
I might loot some bodies for some coin.
Okay, go ahead and roll an investigation check.
No.
Mm.
Personal choice.
Give me one sec.
Where's all the coding gone?
I mean, there are at least 10 bodies
I didn't have time to think about
that are within the temple itself.
Yeah.
Hold on.
We'll see.
You level 5 now, aren't you guys? Yeah.
Yeah.
We are indeed.
Odd. Select. Give me a moment. Generating. Yes. Okay. You are in the first bastion, one of the most grandest of temples within Westron, and as so, it is very well financed by members of the nobles within Westron. You do find
Oh, hello.
Holy
There
shit.
she is.
Right, well, gang, since Stan's not here, I think we can divvy that up 5 ways.
and
I'm agreeing with that one.
this.
Check these alcohol holding wrong.
Hey, lads, I've only gone and got a breastplate. Hell yeah. That's what we want.
And let's do another roll of that as well, just to give some variance. I'm sure there's other things that these guys should be carrying. There we go, we'll have that. There you go.
Ooh, incense. Nice.
Components. I've legitimately properly sorted this bag of holding out.
So if you are dividing, we'll do it as that each. That's 6 ways. If you're doing it 6 ways. Put in mind that it is only Summer that's managed to find this so far.
Yeah, you little scavengers.
So, yeah, as you find what you need to find and you kind of make sure that people that are dead are laying in the correct manner, i.e. they have their hands on their chest, Their legs are straightened out, and they are covered over with what you find some sort of like white linens that would normally be used to cover over the pews to keep them fresh from while they paint or decorate anywhere. So you use them to cover over the bodies to try and obviously keep them hidden from prying eyes. And it's at this point that Shael kind of rushes in, and you see like these birds, like two very small thrushes, are like biting or like pecking at his ear as he's like being like forced in a particular direction by these birds, and he's trying to like bash them away or like shoo them away, but they are hounding him to the point where he's like he every time he's gone for his blade to try and like swing around or like try to mutter an incantation, they're like interrupting him, so he's not being able to get these away. And then he kind of, it's just like, enough, looks around, is like, oh, hey guys.
Suddenly American.
That wasn't actually that bad, to be honest.
So that is the end of that, I guess.
Yes.